Hi there, and welcome to this third flipped history video. There are three learning intentions for this video. The first learning intention is to identify the role of chiefs, and the success criteria is that you can name the role of the chiefs in the different native societies. The second learning intention is to explain the process for appointing chiefs, and the success criteria is that you can explain that process. And finally, the third learning intention is to explain the Council of Elders. And the success criteria is that you can explain the Council of Elders. In Algonquin societies, because there's such a wide variety of groups spread over such a large territory, there was also a wide variety of roles of different chiefs. So it really depended on the role of the chief versus in terms of what society they were from. Some were appointed, others carried their titles hereditary, that means through father to son. In some cases, like this of Membertu, who was a Mi'kmaq chief, he was also considered a shaman as well. So in general, what we say is that the council was very important in the process for appointing chiefs. So much so that in many societies, the chief had to persuade the council in order to have decisions made. The chief was probably chosen because he had a number of skills: strength, courage, the ability to hunt, wisdom, generosity, as we saw in the last video. He couldn't make decisions by himself. Instead, he had to convince the members of the council that decision was the right one. They operated by consensus, so that meant that everybody had to agree. They didn't vote like we do in our society, where the majority wins. So instead, it was a process where everyone had their say, and everybody thought about decisions that had to be made, because the wrong decision could have a very negative effect for the groups. However, in times of particular difficulty, a war chief may come about. So, for example, and this example comes much later on from the time period that we're talking about, but it's well worth considering. So in 1888, there was the Northwest Rebellion. The Cree and the Plains rose up along with the Métis against the Canadian government. Big Bear was the leader of one of the Cree bands. However, once the rebellion started, a warrior named Wandering Spirit became their leader because he was a much better warrior. Amongst the Iroquois, power was practiced differently. So the first thing that's very different between the Iroquois and the Algonquin is the power of the clan mother. So the clan mothers were responsible for choosing the civil chiefs. These were the chiefs of their clans. As well, Iroquoian societies had a second war chief, and the power wielded between the two varied depending on if the society was at war or not. So if it was a time of peace, the civil chief, through the power of the clan mother who chose him, clan mothers who chose him, would have more power. But if they entered into a conflict, then the war chief would assume the primary role in leading the group. As well, both the two main Iroquoian societies, the Six Nations of the Iroquois Confederacy and the Huron Confederacy, had a very closer political system than the Algonquin, who were a much looser association of families, usually kind of related families. So the Confederacy was a meeting of the clan chiefs, and together they would make decisions in the best interests of the totality of the groups. But each group maintained a significant amount of independence from the whole. Thanks for watching. When you're going over your notes, please consider the following essential question. What was life like before the arrival of the Europeans? Remember in the left-hand side to categorize your information and also complete your summaries. Thanks for watching.